single is not a waiting room, and your life does not start when somebody finally decides to choose you. Let's just start there because too many women are living like their real life is on pause until they meet the person or get the ring or plan the wedding or move into the house of their dreams and finally become chosen in a way that society recognizes. And I need us to lovingly but firmly stop doing that. You are not half a woman because you're single. Okay. You are not half a woman or behind because you are not married. You are not in some sad little hallway between your current life and your real life. Singlehood is not the lobby before love. Okay. It's not a holding cell. It's not punishment. It's not a purgatory of some sort. It is not a sign that something is wrong with you. Singlehood can be a powerful season of self awareness, of healing, of friendship, identity formation, joy, growth, becoming the kind of woman who does not need to be rescued or selected or even completed. And yes, you can desire partnership. You can want a healthy romance. You can want to be married. You can want companionship. You can want somebody to do life with. But what we are not going to do is put your whole life on layaway until somebody shows up with the emotional availability and decent communication skills. Because truthfully, we could be waiting a long time for that. Okay. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kiara Ivy, aka Kiara the Concrete Rose. And around here, we talk about lifestyle design, personal growth, adulting, singlehood, child-free living, location independence, soft life strategy, and just building a life that actually feels like yours. And today we're talking about singlehood, but not in the girl, just love yourself and he'll come when you least expect it kind of way. Okay. We're not doing that because, first of all, we can just go ahead and retire that phrase forever. Sometimes people come when you least expect it, yes, but sometimes people come when you very much expect it because you were being intentional, discerning, and you were outside. Okay. And sometimes nobody comes for a while and your life needs to be beautiful in the meantime. And that's the part that I genuinely care about, the meantime, because so many women are living in the meantime like it doesn't count, like this season is just filler, like their current life is the rough draft and the final version begins when they are partnered. But I want to challenge that. I want to ask, what if this season is not a delay? What if this season is data? What if this season is development or divine protection? What if this season is where you become too self aware to settle? What if this season is where you build the foundation that your future love life will either complement or fail to qualify for? Because that is the energy I want us to be in. Not bitter, not desperate, not guarded to the point where nobody can get in, but just whole, intentional, right? Self led, and very clear that romantic love is beautiful, but it is not the only thing that makes this life meaningful. So the first thing that we have to stop doing is we have to stop treating singlehood like a delay. A lot of women are not actually unhappy being single. They are unhappy with the story they have been told about being single, right? There's a difference. The story says single means unwanted. Single means I'm behind. Single means lonely or incomplete. Single means you have not been chosen yet, or that your life is still under construction, or that it means your family members get to ask invasive questions at the family functions like they work for the Department of Romantic Affairs. Like, when are you getting married? Are you seeing anyone? You're too pretty to be single. You better hurry up. Hurry up for what, Auntie? The wrong man? Like, tell me, because let's be honest, some of the pressure women feel around being single has very little to do with their actual desires and everything to do with other people's discomfort. People are uncomfortable. They're wildly uncomfortable with women who are not visibly attached to someone. They are uncomfortable with women who are not organizing their entire identity around being chosen. They are uncomfortable with women who are living peacefully without making romantic partnership the center of their universe. And because they are uncomfortable, they try to transfer that discomfort onto you. I'll give you a prime example. I'll never forget my first time really traveling solo. Um, and it was a cruise. I did a 7-day cruise to the Belize, Honduras, Cayman Islands, and I think Cozumel or something like that. But regardless, I remember that this particular Border Patrol officer was asking me questions about my travel. And then he asked me, why was I traveling alone? And I said, and I remember saying this to him. I said, because last time I checked, I'm an American citizen and we have the freedom to travel without a husband or baby in tow if that's what we choose. I was so sassy with this man because I was like, why would you ask me that? It was only later after I, lived a little bit of life and saw some things that I realized they ask these questions because there are some women, single women, that end up becoming, mules, so to speak. And they are coerced into it and things like that. But I didn't know that at the time. I was just thinking, why is he asking me this question? Like, why can't I travel alone and it not be suspicious? But anyway, so I say that to say people are uncomfortable and you do not have to subscribe to that uncomfortability. Being single is not an emergency. It is not a diagnosis. It is not a failure. It's a relationship status, and that is it. Okay. It does not tell us how much you're worth. It doesn't tell us your desirability. It doesn't tell us about your emotional depth or your capacity for love or your future. Okay. It only tells us that at this moment, you are not in a romantic partnership. And that is morally neutral. The issue is not being single. The issue is when you interpret being single as evidence that something is wrong with you. That is where the suffering starts because now you're not just single, you are single and ashamed, or single and anxious, or single and comparing yourself, or single and lowering your standards, which is so much worse, or you're treating every date like a life or death opportunity to finally be validated. And that's exhausting. The first step to building a life that is full as a single woman is to remove the shame from this season, right? You are not delayed. You are not defective. You are not disqualified. Okay. You are not waiting to become a real adult. Okay. You are already in your life, and that counts. Okay. The second thing is that you need to build routines that make your life feel good right now. Not when you have a partner, not when you get married, not when you move into your dream home or when someone is there to split the bills. Now. Because sometimes women postpone care for themselves because they're waiting to create a shared life. They think, oh, when I meet my person, I'll cook more. Or when I have a husband, I'll make my home more beautiful. When I'm in a relationship, I'll plan date nights. Or when I'm married, I'll take more money more seriously. And no, build them now. Okay. Make your mornings beautiful now. Make your evenings peaceful now. Cook nourishing meals for yourself. Buy yourself flowers. Use the good dishes right now, right? Create Sunday reset routines. Take yourself out to dinner. Plan trips. Decorate your space, celebrate the milestones in your life. Create a life that feels good to live now because you are not practicing for a future relationship. You're living, and your daily life deserves to be full, and it should look good and feel good, even if nobody is there to witness it. Actually, I would argue that how you treat your life when nobody else is watching says a lot about how deeply you value yourself. Do you only make things special when someone else is involved? Do you only get dressed up when someone might see you? Do you only cook well when you're feeding other people? Do you only clean your space when company is coming? Do you only romanticize your life when it can be posted? That is something to pay attention to because a full life is built through repetition. It is built through how you wake up, how you feed yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you care for your body, how you manage your time, how you protect your energy, how you structure your days, how you choose pleasure, how you make room for joy. And this is why the routines are so important. Not because you need to be rigid or perfect, but because routines teach your nervous system that your life is worth tending to, right? A morning routine says, I deserve to enter my day with intention and ease and flow, right? And an evening routine says, I deserve for my day to end with care, right? A self-care routine says, I am not an afterthought. A friendship routine says connection matters to my life. A pleasure routine says joy is not reserved for romance. Okay. Build the routines now. Your future partner should not be the first person to benefit from your softness. You should. Okay. The third thing is to build friendships and community, not just romantic hope. Because I'm going to say something that may, step on a few toes. Some women are lonely not because they are single, but because they have placed way too much emotional expectation on romantic love, right? They are waiting for that one person to become their best friend, their therapist, their travel partner, their emotional support system, their financial partner, their social life, their co-dreamer, their emergency contact, their source of entertainment. Like, good gosh. Like, that is too much pressure for one relationship. Even a healthy romantic love cannot and should not be your entire village, right? You need friendships. You need community. You need people who know you in different ways. You need women who you can laugh with and check you and that will pray with you and travel with you and celebrate you and remind you of who you are when life gets really loud. You need people who are not just waiting for your relationship status to change before they take you seriously. Okay? And this is especially important for single women because if you do not intentionally build community, you may start to see partnership as the only cure for your loneliness. And that can make you very vulnerable to choosing the wrong person just to escape the discomfort of being alone, right? Loneliness is real. I'm not dismissing that. But the solution to loneliness is not always romance. Sometimes the solution is friendship. Sometimes it is community or therapy or reconnecting with your purpose or just getting out of the house. It could also be just joining groups or classes or communities, churches, clubs, events, masterminds, travel experiences, you know? Sometimes it's becoming the friend that you keep saying that you want. Because let's be real, a lot of adult friendships, they require effort. We are not in school anymore where friendship is just sitting next to someone in class and deciding you belong to each other now. Okay? As adults, friendships require intentionality. They require follow up, scheduling, a little bit of vulnerability, consistency. And they also require not disappearing every time life gets busy. They require being, willing to initiate. And if you are single, building strong friendships is not a consolation prize. It is part of a full life. And I say this to you not from a mountaintop. I promise you. Like, I am guilty of this too. It's the reason why this topic has come up. I want us to do better and be better. And I know how. Of course I need accountability like anybody else, you know? But romantic love is not the only love that matters. Friendship love matters too. Sisterhood, community, chosen family, mentorship matters. Your spiritual connection, right? The love you build around you can be one of the strongest foundations for your life. So don't wait for a partner to create that belonging. Create that belonging right now. Okay. Singlehood can also be a powerful season of identity formation because relationships can be beautiful, but they can also be consuming, especially if you have a pattern of adapting, performing, people pleasing, or just losing yourself in love. Singlehood can give you the space to ask, these types of questions, right? Who am I when I'm not trying to be chosen? What do I actually like? What kind of life do I want? What are my values? What are my non-negotiables, my patterns? What am I healing from? What kind of love feels safe for me now? What kind of love did I normalize that I no longer want? What version of me is showing up in relationships? Do I abandon myself? Do I overfunction? Do I ignore red flags? Do I confuse intensity with intimacy? Do I perform softness instead of feeling safe? These are really important questions because if you do not know yourself, it is very easy to be shaped by whoever you date. Sips tea. I just wanted y'all to sit with that for a minute because I can say it again. If you do not know yourself, it is very easy to be shaped by whoever you date. You become what they like. You adjust to their pace. You adopt their preferences. You silence your needs. You make yourself smaller. You call it compromise, but sometimes it is disappearance. Singlehood gives you space to come back to yourself. And I want to say this too, because I've been in really good relationships. So I also understand the concept of mirroring, and I understand that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so it's natural to, you know, adopt the habits or the likes or things like that of the person that you're dating. And I'm not saying that anything is wrong with that, but there it is when the cost of it is your individuality and your authenticity. That's when it becomes a problem. So I just want to say that and have that caveat there so that if anybody is listening to this and has I maybe experienced that dynamic before, that they don't feel bad for it. Okay? But I do really want you to know that singlehood is going to allow you to learn your own rhythm. It's going to allow you to discover your own preferences and build your own standards, right? And just hear your own voice clearly. It's going to help you become rooted. A rooted woman is really powerful, and I want you to become rooted in who you are because, when it comes to being a rooted woman, she can bend, but she does not disappear. She can love, but she does not lose herself. She can partner, but she does not abandon her purpose. That is what we want. Not single forever unless that is your desire. And then by all means, more power to you. I'm not going to try to talk you out of it, but not partnered at any cost. Okay. But just rooted either way. And so I want to pause us here because if you take nothing else from this part of the conversation, take this. Being single is not a waiting room. It is not punishment. It is not evidence that something is wrong with you. It is not some romantic purgatory. It is not a season that you are supposed to waste while you're waiting for someone else to make your life more meaningful. Your life is already happening. This season right here, it counts. Your mornings count, your friendships count, your joy counts, the self-awareness that you adopt, it counts. Your identity, your dreams, all of it counts. You are not in between lives. You are in your life. And tomorrow in part 2, we're going to talk about how to build a full life while single in a more practical way, right? So we're going to talk money, pleasure, purpose, better standards, and just why romantic love should add to your life, not rescue you from it. Okay. Because yes, you can desire partnership. You can want love and marriage and companionship, but please do not pause your becoming while you wait for it. Do not abandon your joy or delay your dreams or make romantic love responsible for giving your life meaning. Okay. I want to hear from you. What part of your life have you been tempted to put on pause because you are single? Is it your friendships? Is it travel? Is it your home, routines, healing? joy, drop it in the comments for me. And if this video resonated with you, please like it, subscribe to this channel, and come back for part two because we're going deeper into how to build a life while single without pretending you don't want love. Because being single is not the waiting room, okay? It's still your life, and I want you to build it beautifully. Okay, y'all? Bye.